In the upper right, folks, in the red, actually, he is, for the Shopify Rebellion, ByuN. And his opponent on the bottom left in the blue, Dragon Phoenix Gaming's very own Cure. Just figured why the game intro in that first game did not really actually didn't really go and do actually what we wanted. It's because there's actually a bug where if the stinger's not selected in OBS, then it just doesn't render and whatever. Anyways, folks, game one is upon us. Again, we did see Cure and ByuN. They played recently in the EPT Cup, or in the Red Cross Cup. It was a 3-0 coming in from ByuN. It looked dominant. ByuN, he won games in the early game, he won games in the mid game, he won games in the late game. It never really felt like ByuN was in a situation where he was going to lose a game. Like, it was a game that Cure was in control of almost the entire time. And, well, hopefully we're going to see things go a little bit better for ByuN here in this game. Or for Cure, I guess, in this game. But to set the stage, I guess, as we get into the first game of the series, what does Aligulac have to say about how this matchup is going to go? Yeah, I think that's about right. 75-25. Cure maybe gets a map, but even that is not totally certain. Considering, again, how good they've looked. I'm glad you all enjoyed the pre-record. I recorded that ad almost like a year ago at this point. And I've used it very, very little on my stream because I'd rather be looking in at other games or looking at highlights or talking to you all or something. But there's room for it. We can find it. I mean, Pig has his whole kind of BRB highlights from previous casts, and I don't know. I don't know that I have the time to quite put something like that together. But anyways, for now, the build orders are pretty mirrored. Both players going for Cyclones tech early on. Seems like, yeah, 3 Reapers for Cure, 2 Reapers for ByuN. So that does mean that ByuN Cyclone is actually much faster. Not sure how much is really gonna matter. But when we saw ByuN and Cure play on this map in the Red Cross Cup, we saw ByuN play defensively, and Cure tried to run across the map with 5 Reaper, 3 Hellion, I think it was. Tried to dive in, and ByuN had Cyclones. ByuN had everything he could possibly want, and the push didn't happen. ByuN ran across the map, and on that map, he just had more. And actually, after that, Cure tried to go and have a second level of push. He had tanks on the high ground, or on the low ground, right here, and tried to siege up ByuN's third base, and he delayed it very briefly. But ByuN, through some rather fancy Raven micro, was able to make sure that his tank survived. His opponent's tank went down, and then he flooded across the map with tank advantage and won the game in about 7 minutes. Maybe it was 8 minutes. So if this is going to be the same thing that Cure did it was just about 3 games in a row in that previous series, we will see Cure go for a triple Raven opener. And there we go. Third Raven is on the way. Meanwhile, ByuN has been stopping it too, getting himself into more tank production, into his third base much faster. I mean, look how much faster this third base is. Cure hasn't even started his, but it's also because Cure wants to be aggressive. That has been his modus operandi in TVT for I don't know quite how long, but it's what he's been doing recently at the very least. And that can work out pretty well if you're able to get sieged up properly. You're able to find some value there. And Cure, because his third base is a lot later, he's taking his third base on the map. He's taking his third base on location. It's not quite as safe, but you don't really need to be quite as safe if you're gonna be the one that's going to be aggressive on the map here. So, oh, great scout here from ByuN. Yes, he's gonna lose the Reapers. Yes, he's gonna lose the Hellions, but he sees his opponent's army, and now he's gonna be able to get set up appropriately. These 3 Ravens are still scary, and they're gonna look to get shutdowns on things. But okay, there we go. Actually, shutdown on one of the Ravens, actually. But that means 1 tank can still fire. Even still, though, Cure trying to come pressing right on forward. Only 1 tank fire. Here's Cyclone. Positive lock on there from Cure, but the tanks are actually gonna survive. Eventually, they will go down, but a tank on the high ground is a pretty nice thing. Auto turret gets dropped. ByuN trying to make the counter break, gets the Marines on top of the tanks as much as he can, but the tanks are killing everything, and Cure will continue to rally in. It felt like this was the timing that ByuN, if he was going to make a hold happen, this was going to have to do it. But now, well, he's going to go for round 2. STVs are going to get pulled on top of the tanks, and tanks are actually from ByuN. They're not even going to siege up, but 7 STVs have gone down to start, and actually, only 9 STVs die. ByuN has a much quicker third base. He's much quicker orbital. Although I guess at this point, both players, in fact, yeah, no. Cure has not. Cure's orbital is still on the way, so ByuN's going to be kind of okay with this. And ByuN survives, really, arguably the scariest portion of the game. And now Stumsundot, he's always going to get another tank. The Viking as well here. Cure just left stuff out to dry on the map. And now what are we looking at? It is 1 tank to 1. ByuN 14 Marines to the 2 of Cure. It's a hefty army supply lead. And some people will say, look, supply doesn't matter in TVT. And to some extent, that is true. Tanks do a great job of holding positions and making it hard for pushes to happen. But ByuN, he dodges the scan. He's going to try to find his position on the left side. And if he can just stim on top of this tank, I mean, I don't know how much there's really going to be able to do. So ByuN pre-splits. 1 Viking will go down, but this tank's dead. And the Vikings are going to land. They're going to go down here as well. And ByuN withstands the pressure once again and takes a pretty quick game 1 victory, which, folks, this is what he's been doing to Cure every single time. In the bottom right, folks, in the red, excuse me. He's up 1 off relentless defense, ByuN. His opponent on the upper left side of the map in the blue. Down a game, his pressure almost worked though. It's Cure. And it cannot be understated just how, or overstated, just how powerful ByuN has been over the last, I don't know, 6 months online. He has been legit the best player in the world in online games, as game 2 on that video I'm talking about on my YouTube should tell you. That was a game that he had literally, oh, I don't want to spoil it. I guess I kind of did anyways, but you should just watch the game. The quality of play that ByuN has been showing us online is nothing short of world championship caliber. And I'm not going to say that ByuN's going to win Katowice, because between his wrist issues, which are psychosomatic, so depending on how stressed ByuN is, I guess it depends on how much his wrists are hurting, which is extremely unfortunate. It's why in the GSL it hurts the most, because I don't know, GSL is the most stressful tournament, whatever. And he has disappointed in offline play. You know, he got knocked out in the round of 8, I think, at DreamHack Atlanta. The round of 8, round of 12, something like that. I mean, granted, he had to run into Maru, which does not make life easy. It's funny, as I was talking to people at the event, I was like, you know what, this is going to be a very close series that ends in a Maru 2-0, which is exactly what happened. But anyways, ByuN Online is a different story. So for now, we see very similar openers coming in from both players. Barracks double gas factory from both Cure and ByuN. ByuN natural. I mean, everything is paired up here. The difference, though, is the fact that Cure wants to get aggressive on the map. So he built one extra Hellion, one extra Reaper, and they're going to find their way onto the other side before the Cyclone arrives, which is the big holding position here. So it's actually a really nice timing coming in from Cure, but the Marines will find their way onto the low ground, and that delays just enough. Reapers start to fall. But by the time that all this goes down, the Cyclones arrive, and the Cyclone is the great equalizer. This army does not really kill Cyclones all that much, so nice repair, but 2 SCVs will go down. So Cure, actually it's going to be 3. Cure gets a lot more damage than he has in the past off of pushes like this. And when I say in the past, I mean compared to what he did compared to the games he played on Sunday against ByuN. And of course, because ByuN did skip out on that Reaper, did skip out on that extra set of gas units, his Raven is marginally faster. Not anything really to write home about, but getting that Cyclone out in time did mean he didn't take that much damage. And again, we're seeing ByuN so confident in his TVT right now that he's got his third base on the way. Yeah, this is a 430 third base. He's just as greedy as possible, because we've seen Cure in, because he 3-0'd Cure on Sunday. He 3-0'd Cure yesterday. In, what are we on? 4 games in a row. Yeah, in 4 games in a row, ByuN has won every single one of them, and in 3 of those, Cure went for some round of triple Raven pressure, which is what he's going to do right here. First 2 Ravens moving out a little earlier, though, and ByuN's been able to hold on with his third base, and then he runs across the map and slaps Cure. This is a 4-game winning streak that ByuN has against Cure right now in terms of total maps. I mean, obviously, 1-0 in series. But Cure got a lot closer in that game 1 than he did in the previous games yesterday. So maybe he's starting to crack ByuN just a tiny bit. Not a ton. Certainly not, but at least he's maybe starting to figure ByuN out just a little bit more. ByuN is a really nice position here. Ravens in front of the tank, so ideally you can shut down the Ravens that fly in, or you can eat the disables and then you shut down their tanks. So but the way it works out is actually your tanks, they become undisabled faster, and actually tends to work out pretty well. But there we go. Tanks are now going to get disabled, but actually they both get unsieged. That's going to be a nice thing. Another tank is going to try to siege up here. One tank from ByuN is actually not even going to go down. SCVs are going to get pulled, and ByuN, again, this is the thing we're talking about. He has the better shutdown. His tanks unsieged, or unshut down, unsieged, but the Marine count here is pretty terrifying. 14 SCVs for ByuN have gone down. Remember, though, his third base is much faster, but at this point, well, as I say that, auto turret goes down, and again, ByuN's going to hold. Barely. And he loses a little bit more SCVs this time, but his orbital is much faster, his stim is much faster, and he is up in supply. So, folks, it's not as good as game 1 was. That much is true. ByuN was down, I think, 6 workers in that last game, and it very quickly brought that back up. And he's not quite, he doesn't quite have the army delta, the army health delta that he did in that game number 1 as well. So we're not going to see him, I don't think, run across the map and try to kill Cure. I don't think that he can. Even though he is, actually, no, it is 2 tanks to 2. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see him do that. Instead, it's going to be third base on the way. He does have his upgrades marginally faster. His stim is done. Combat shield's now faster than Cure. And this is going to be a game where if he wants to win and he wants to turn this into a 5-map win streak, he's going to have to go and make a bit of a comeback. Because Cure right now, I mean, he's up 12 workers. Yes, of course, ByuN was able to get some of those workers back because his orbital was faster, much like the last game. But even still, Cure is mining off of this third base. He's going to be able to just have a much burstier economy in a little bit of time. He's actually getting all his gas. He's taking his 5th and 6th gas, which means more tanks, more tanks and more medevacs, more Vikings are the big ones you're going to buy with that. But ByuN actually does barrage forward on the map. His army is small. That brief period of time where he did have that army supply lead, it's not really there anymore. But if he can find a nice little opening, an angle, maybe he can find some value. But Cure is paying attention to it. He's got Marines on the right side where ByuN tries to find his way forward. And, of course, this nerfed sensor tower does not... Probably the old sensor tower would maybe covered like right here. And Kira is already adapted to this. He's doing a very good job of making sure his Marines are everywhere where the sensor tower doesn't cover. And that's just a great deal for Kira. ByuN is going to struggle to find value on the map or establish a really solid position on the map for just a little bit longer. But hey, 1-1 is done. Combat shields are done in 5 seconds, give or take. And that is going to be a time where ByuN, if his army is going to be better. At least in terms of quality. Quantity, that's a different story. And ByuN's pulling a ByuN. He's forgot his +2 armor. Oh, so it goes. I don't know what it is with ByuN, but anyway, dropping the main base here from Cure, and ByuN does not really have much of an army in position. A couple Marines are going to stem over, and these are SCVs that ByuN is going to lose that he can sorely afford to lose here. In fact, his command center may just fall down, but the SCVs are going to be brought into repair. The rest of the army shows up, and that should be that. Anti-armor missile as well, so it's going to be able to knock this down. Medivacs, though, they're going to get targeted, but here's the problem, because the rest of the army of Cure, taking advantage of that supply lead, is going to find itself right into the natural where ByuN's production is, his economy is, and folks, I hate to say it, ByuN's map win streak against Cure looks like it's going to be over. SCVs fall, ByuN falls, and it is a 1-1 scoreline here in our grand finals. Cure finally breaks the curse. He breaks the streak. The bottom right, folks, in the red. He won game 1 and was not able to hold quite on to the same level in the second game. It's ByuN. And the upper left, in his opponent in the blue, finally taking a map. It's Cure. He finally got there. It took him a long time. It took him a damn long time, but Cure finally takes a map, and honestly, that was a map that ByuN probably could have held. I don't know if I like the odds of effectively hitting at the same time over and over and over again, and expecting, well, ByuN to just stop holding it properly is really the big thing. ByuN has held that same push probably 4 out of the last five times that Cure has done it to him. 3 out of the last 4, something like that. So seeing him go and still try the same build over and over again, I don't know that that's my favorite idea. But who knows? Maybe Cure's going to be able to go in once again, make it happen, and we're going to see a 2-1 Cure lead. But for right now, Barracks, Double Gas, Factory, Command Center. This is the standard TBT build. The only reason I pointed out, I guess in part, is both players are going for it. We're not really seeing a lot of build differentiation for the most part. The question is whether Cure decides to go aggressive once again. And I understand why Cure has opted for aggression in most of the games in this I guess, protracted TVT series that I've cast against ByuN, and that really is because a lot of these naturals are wide open. You have all of these spots where you can't wall it off. You just got to get some really nice concaves and hope for the best. It's hard to hold on to. So ByuN, by opting to play defensively there is certainly a damage potential that Cure is trying to take advantage of, and look, he did take advantage of it in the last game. He did a great job. So this time though, and actually this is what we saw. Oh man, it seems like Cure just has the same builds for every map. This is what he did on Graysvon last time as well, where he opened more defensively. He opened a Widow Mine. That means that any sort of Reaper Hellion aggression coming out of ByuN is not going to work out super well. It's 3 Reapers and a Hellion. It's kind of splitting the difference on how defensive you want to be, and if this is Cure just doing the same thing again, I expect to see a third base on location at right around the same time that ByuN gets his third base on the high ground. Because that, folks, would be deja vu all over again in the immortal words of Yogi Berra. But we're going to have to see what exactly... Maybe Cure does something different. Maybe he's just kind of opening in the same way and takes a different approach. Kind of the mind games of, again, playing 5, 6 televised maps against the same person in 2 days in a row. And we are seeing, again, the minor advantage that ByuN has found by skipping that third Reaper. You know, you get your Cyclones well-timed, you get your Cyclone faster, you get your Raven just Actually, I guess this is very evenly timed, but you just get that, you get the Cyclone faster, that end all be all early game defensive unit. What we really want to be tracking here is the Raven count. So it's 1 Raven per side. We're going to see a second one get made. But if this is going to be Cure's push, it's going to be 3 Ravens. If he's going to play defensively, I think it stays at 2. And I don't really see an SCV moving forward, so it looks like Cure may not try to go for the very greedy 3rd command center on location, but ByuN is though. So he's kind of reading into how this game happened last time. Tank sieges him just in time, and yeah, good luck here. You're not getting up that high ground, not easily at the very least. So we're on 1 Raven. Second one is just about to pop, and yeah, 3rd one on the way. So Cure is changing things up. He's presenting this game as this is the same thing that he did against ByuN on their Grayspawn game, on game 3 of that last series, where Cure ended up losing, and in general, he was 3-0 out of that series, and again, kind of dumpstered. This one's just a little bit different, trying to lull ByuN into maybe a false sense of security, a little bit of mind games. And now his 3rd base is on the way, on location, but it is much later here as he gets himself all set up on the front. Double Raven. 3rd Raven's going to join the fray in just a second. Tanks the random Widow Mine, just a little bit of something extra. And ByuN is just going full on greed. Stim already halfway done. eBay is on the way. And Cure thinks he might have found an opening on the right side. ByuN is all sieged up in the middle, but he's got a Marine forward. So he's aware of what's happening. And now these tanks are sieged up pretty well. It's going to be hard for Ravens to get lockdowns on all of them. But they don't have to. Because what we're going to be looking at from here right now is he's going to try to lock down the forward tanks, as we're going to see. And the Marines run forward to deny that. And then move into the natural. Like, that's going to be the goal. But for now, okay, the Ravens go in. Auto turrets get dropped. And there we go. All 3 tanks are going to get disabled here. But ByuN, he's going to wait for the tanks of his opponent to be to siege. And then he's, I think, going to go try to lock them down. 2 tanks at the forward are going to get dealt with. But on the backside, of course, there is this 1 tank that is sieged up. Should take a couple shots. And no, ByuN will still lose that tank. So again, here we go. Cure finds his way into the natural. But ByuN holds on to his Ravens this time. And the Cyclone is not going to get that much done. In fact, it's going to get knocked down. ByuN, though, he's only sitting on 1 tank to the 3 of his opponent. Auto turrets are going to get dropped here. 1 tank sieges up. SCV gets pulled, but the Cyclone still stays alive. Cure loses his tanks, though, and the Vikings, they're going to get landed. And the Marines and the tank of ByuN should be able to clear this up. So again, ByuN holds on. Skin of his teeth. Doesn't lose nearly as many SCVs, though. It was 1 SCV that went down that tried to kill the Cyclone. Valiantly picked up his mining drill and went charge! I didn't get anything done, but it did mean the Cyclone was attacking that and, you know, not something more important. And now ByuN's stim is done. 1-1 over halfway done here. Combat shield's on the way. And this has been the story of the good majority of games that ByuN has played against Cure in recent days. Okay, tank on the high ground, though. That's siege. That's a little bit scary. Viking lands and goes down immediately. 2nd tank is not going to do much of anything. And ByuN here in the middle of the map loses all of his Marines. His tank should get out. Yeah, there's no chasing that. So, a bit of an awkward trade, but ByuN kills a tank, does not lose one of his own. And Marines are, I'm not going to say free, but they're a lot cheaper in terms of both building time and in terms of actually how much they cost. 50 minerals is a lot cheaper than a tank. So ByuN, again, he does a great job of resetting the tank count of Cure. It's 3-2, but Cure does want to get aggressive off of this once again. He's got Liberators on the way, taking advantage of what is honestly a very slim air lead. It's 2 Vikings to 0. That is something that ByuN could pretty easily get himself to if he did decide to counteract that. But instead, Sensor Tower is going to just give him a better idea of what's happening. And now he's got double drop. 2 tanks, 4 Marines, and Medevacs. He's going to see the Liberator, but steamroll right into the main base. Vikings are trying to find their way home, and actually there's not a lot of anti-air. Not a ton of... There's an SCV in this army. Okay, that's a little weird, but Marines, they're going to get on top of the Liberator. That is going to, at least, if not go down, take a lot of damage. And, well, now we're going to... Oh, he's going to get the upgrades here. Tanks actually are sieged, so they cannot kill them. ByuN is going to be able to deny the upgrades, I think. But okay, here comes the bio stimming in. ByuN, does he get +1 attack? He does. And yeah, the tanks are going to get knocked down eventually, but ByuN with his upgrades as far ahead as they are right now, getting an attack upgrade off, or getting an upgrade off the board from here means that ByuN's going to be able to hit with a 3 upgrade lead in about a minute or so. And considering the fact that ByuN's economy is just in a better spot, he's got his 4th base already on the way. As long as he can withstand the next bit of pressure coming in from Pure, which again, Pure is up in army supply rather significantly off that drop. So long as ByuN can withstand that, he's going to be in a good spot. But with a Liberator tank siege up here, you got to be very careful. ByuN keeps that tank alive and now puts it back on a bit better position on the high ground. Now he goes forward, stims forward, and gets on top. Oh, the tanks are not yet sieged. ByuN's going to get a lot of the Marines here, and he's going to get on top of the tanks as well. Gets 1, gets 2, and he's got to back up now. That was already a fantastic counterpunch here, and the tank on the high ground as well means it's hard for Kure to really find his way in. So ByuN already has done the majority of what he needs to do to make sure that he's able to hold on from this pressure, but there's still a Liberator, and ByuN forced to pull his tank back just a little bit, but it's a 1 low Liberator, right? That is not really the power that you're looking for. But okay, it will start to move things forward, and actually ByuN is a bit ballsy. He picks up 2 medevacs worth of his stuff, runs them across the map. His +2 is 15 seconds from completion. That's the timing he's looking for. And Kure actually has to rotate his entire army home. These Marines are not going to win this fight. It's just not going to work. But ByuN does lose a medevac full of a bunch of Marines. But 2-2 is now done. So the Marines, they're just not going to win the fight. ByuN trades this so damn well. Liberator will fall. A bunch of Marines. SCV. Kure will not get his 4th base. And yeah, sure, ByuN will eventually lose these Marines as they run away. They put themselves in a corner. But that was extremely cost effective. 12 Marines and 2 medevacs for 20 Marines, 2 Vikings, a Liberator, and SCV. Upgrades, folks. Am I right? Upgrades. ByuN has, of course, forgotten his +3 armor once again, but I'm not sure how much it matters. He's up 3 upgrades on the bio right now. Kure does not even have an armory, I don't think. No, he does. He just hasn't got... yeah, there we go. There's his armor. But ByuN has now equalized the army supply just enough. And yes, Kure is doing a good job of building more Liberators and making this army that it's hard for ByuN to attack into. But I think now, because ByuN can't end this game super easily, I think we're just going to start to see him expand and take the map. He's on 80 workers. We're going to have to see whether he wants to stay there or go a little higher. We should see a 5th command center on the way pretty quickly, because he's just going to be able to lock Kure into 3 bases, and then who cares? Kure won't really have any sort of economy whatsoever, and it's just going to be the slow boa constrictor of ByuN. Just close this map out. But instead, ByuN stems forward a little bit more, but the tanks are going to get sieged, and that will force Kure back before he takes some pretty juicy shots. And while ByuN does not have +2 attack, he does not one-shot stim Marines. The tanks still do a pretty damn fine job. I don't know why Kure stemmed forward into the Marines like that. ByuN won the fight even without stimming, which is just... that says a lot about how this game is going right now. Multi-prong on the right side. He doesn't even know that there's no base there. There should be a base by all rights, but there's not, as the drop... there were carpet bombs behind the mineral line. Again, 2-2 Marines versus 0-1 Marines means that, well, Kure is not even winning that fight all that well. Meanwhile, pressure on the 3rd base gets on top of a lot of stuff. Tank is siege, though, and that does mean that... oh, I'm sorry. That does mean that for now... oh, there we go. I was looking on the wrong screen. That does mean that for now, ByuN is going to be stymied. But, oh, wait. Kure has a bit of a counterattack on the other side, and ByuN, he's got to find his way back home. So this is a lot of SCV damage, but again, medevacs will fall, Marines will fall. This is a one-way trip for everyone, and it's still a 2-upgrade lead. So despite there being medevacs, only 9 SCVs go down. It's not finding the value. Kure is trying desperately to bring himself back into this game. ByuN's going to have +3 attack soon enough. It's going to be 3-2 versus 1-1. He's going to have +2 mech attack soon, which of course means that stimmed bio gets one shot regardless of how upgraded they are. I don't want to distill this down to just, oh, it's upgrades, but it kind of is. And supply, of course. If you have equal supply, I mean, the upgrade count is just insane. ByuN stims forward here. Tanks will siege up, though. And only a couple Marines are left. And, well, actually, Kure does blow up a lot of that. But now the armor is complete. And ByuN remains 3 upgrades up on his opponent, just denying the 4th base. That's all that matters here. ByuN has his 5th on the way. He's only on 74 SCVs, so he's lost a couple. And the bios didn't score them. I mean, the tanks aren't even taking that much damage. Just +1 attack Marines. They don't kill things all that quickly. And ByuN, there we go. Big drop into the main base as he just secures the position at the front. Kure's fought long, he's fought hard. But it's not going to be enough. And Kure takes ByuN takes game number 3. He's up 2-1 in this series. In the upper left, folks, in the red, he's up 2-1 off just incredible defense. Time over time over time. It's ByuN. And his opponent in the bottom right, in the blue, down a game. It's Cure. And Inked Warrior, thank you so much for the Prime sub. I do appreciate it. So again, we see the same idea over and over and over again. Here goes for 3 Ravens. He gets aggressive. He tries to shut down ByuN's tanks. It doesn't work. Every single time it doesn't work. ByuN, he holds his disables. He holds the interference matrix. And then he shuts down his opponent's tank second. And then, yeah, sure, ByuN maybe loses those tanks, but he holds on enough. Normally he can keep 1 tank back, and that is able to still get some shots off. And then his opponent's tanks are not able to do anything as his tanks come out from being interference matrixed, and he kills everything. It's kind of formulaic how this is happening at this point, and make no mistake about it. That push from here kills a lot of Terrans. Kills a lot of Terrans, but ByuN is just... I don't know how much ByuN and Cure have played against each other. Outside of... I mean, I know I've cast 6 games of them, now the 7th game in the last 2 days. But I don't know how much more they've done than that. It does seem, though, that this is a very formulaic way that both of these players are playing the game. They have a very specific way about how they think TVT should be played. And I think ByuN's is just slightly superior. It feels like we're almost running into Max Pax versus other Protoss player type of idea, where Max Pax says, I can be defensive. I can hold on. I can really handle most of anything that you're going for. And, well... other Protoss players, they try to call his bluff, and 9 times out of 10, Max Pax holds, and he gets the head, or he wins the game immediately. That's kind of how it's been looking here, where ByuN has been able to get this 433rd base and get all the Raven, get 1 less Raven, get his very quick upgrades, get his very quick stim, and yeah, he loses some SCVs, but it almost feels at this point that, like, losing the SCVs is part of the build. And now here comes Cure on the high ground, and ByuN just has the concave, so I don't know how much this is going to get done, but actually... you know, Cure does get some good shots off. And do we have a Cyclone? No Cyclone whatsoever. ByuN doing things a little bit differently, and he's losing every single fighting unit. So this is much better. I'm sorry, I did not give Cure the benefit of the doubt. I thought that concave was going to be good enough. And now it's a repairing heli, and that does kill 1 of Cure's, but he loses some of his own. And Cure is going to do a lot of damage here. The Cyclone's only halfway done. 4 workers have gone down. SCVs are pulled to try to knock this down, but the micro is very nice indeed, and 5 SCVs go down. Marines continue to fall, and Cure might just end the game with this. At least do game-ending damage. 7 SCVs have gone down. ByuN's doing a great job of splitting, and yes, eventually the Marines will maybe clear this up. Cyclone will absolutely. But this is 10 dead SCVs, and ByuN is dead. Good game. We're going to game 5. Well, that's a little different. In the bottom left, folks, in the red, his defense was great in games 1 and 3, but 2 and 4, maybe a little more dicey. He's ByuN. In the upper right, in the blue for Dragon Phoenix Gaming, it's Cure. And now, given that this is a best of 1, what does the League have to say? It thinks ByuN still wins the best of 1. Okay, that doesn't really surprise me, but let's be real. I'm just taking the opportunity to enjoy my the toys that I built for myself. And if that's wrong, I don't want to be right. I'm just going to enjoy the all the different cool production things that I've made. And Altitude is a map kind of like Graysvon, where It's long. It is a 37-second distance rush map, and it has 4 levels, I believe. Actually, we can count it. 1 level, 2 level, 3 level, 4, 5 levels. Ooh. How many did Pride of Altaris have? It had 1, 2, 3. I think Pride of Altaris may have only had 4. So is this the most levels we've had in a ladder map, or in a tournament map? I'm actually not sure. But anyways, for now, Kira actually delayed his command center just a little bit. What was the difference in his build? I was too busy counting levels. His factory, okay. Yeah, no, that's not the difference. Kira didn't delay his command center. ByuN went quickly. ByuN went into a Reaper expand. He's double gas now, sure, but this was a Reaper expand, low ground command center. And if he gets away with this, because this is altitude, right? This is a big map. This is absolutely a map where you can do something like that. ByuN is able to go, and he's going to put himself in a massive lead. We're going to start to see the worker count. Right now, it's 25 to 25. That's going to be the same. But once this orbital is complete, A, he's going to have double mule. B, he's just going to be able to build one more worker every cycle, and, well, at least for a little bit of time. And that's going to put him like 2-3 workers ahead. Something like, maybe 2 workers. 2 workers probably, because Kira's command center is now done, and it's just going to be the period of time that it takes to make the orbital. Even still, it's 1 or 2 worker lead here for ByuN that he's going to get out of that, and the extra mule earlier on. So that is actually going to be pretty significant as we move into the mid game. And the question now is, does Kira go for one of his pushes? ByuN's Raven is slightly faster, but you know, it's not going to matter all that much. The big deal, though, again, is it going to be 2 Ravens? Is it going to be 3? And second of all, does Kira run out on the map with this 3 Reaper, 2 Hellion hit squad that he has been going for time after time? If there ever was a game where this would work, it is going to be this one. ByuN has a bunch of Marines, sure, but Hellions do pretty well on that. But it is, of course, altitude. And altitude is a massive map. It takes forever to get across, so it looks like Kira is just not going to really go for that one. The time has passed, really, for this pressure to really kick off. And here's the interesting thing, though. ByuN only going single Raven in this game number 5, getting a bunch of extra barracks much quicker. Huh. It's gonna be a +1 3-1-1. That's a single eBay. ByuN in game 5 is showing a very different version of the ByuN that we've seen over the last several days. Yeah, the last several days, really. Really. Is this going to catch Kira off guard? We don't see a lot of heavy stimmed Marine ideas in TBT for the most part because tanks are so dominant. They're able to just go and lock down positions against much inferior supply. But this +1 3-1-1, it's gonna have stims, gonna have combat shields. It could be powerful as ByuN scouts out, sees the hit squad, the map control squad that Kira has on the right side, dodges any sort of damage that he's gonna take, and the Ravens and the tanks move out. Now, Kira, I believe, does have his... Yeah, that was his... no, sorry. Third base on the way just now is Kira. Again, though, he's just trying to establish position. He's not... Oh, no, he is. Okay, so he is going to move out here on the map a little bit. Stim should be done for this, I think. Stim is going to be... There we go, 15 seconds out. And if Kira... Yeah, no. With tank siege, Stim will be done by the time that this pressure happens in earnest. ByuN is going to have 2 medevacs. If Kira delays it all... These tanks are not yet sieged, and this is still not a ton of Marines. 20 to 13, so we're going to see the anti-armor missile go down. ByuN, actually, 2 of his tanks are going to be disabled, but he has a position he can run to, and now he's going to set up a concave here. Takes as good a fight as possible, and he wants to retreat now. Wait for that anti-armor missile to go down, wait for his tanks to be undisabled, and that's going to happen. So now 2 tanks make their way into the high ground here. They're going to be able to siege themselves up. But ByuN, okay, there we go. I was going to ask, how do you get out of this position? Because this is a bit of constriction here, and the answer is you drop. Actually, he's going to run across the map. Interesting. I thought he was just going to go drop down for a break. Raven goes forward. Marines knock down. Actually, Marines knock down the Raven. 1 tank falls a little bit far forward, and ByuN is going to get a 2nd tank. Oh, okay. No, the tank will stay alive, but it takes a lot of damage. And now ByuN, what's his drop going to do? Kira scouts it out here, but what does he have in the main base? Not a lot. This is a ton of 16 +1 stim Marines into the main base. Is Cure going to be able to hold on to this? I mean, he has a tank, so probably. But does Cure keep this command center alive? It's getting it's going to burn at the very least. ByuN stims on top of it even more. There's only one tank here. SCVs, they have to get pulled, and ByuN gives up. The command center stays alive. ByuN's not going to be able to snipe it. Doesn't lose that many Marines, all things considered. And now he's the one running across the map. He's got +1 stim bio, 5 more Marines, 1 less tank. He's got a Viking. I don't know how much that's going to matter. And he's the one that's going to try to, for the first time in this series, well, I guess that's not quite true, but he's the one that's going to try to go pedal to the metal and take down Cure. One tank gets sniped immediately. Marines on the right side. The tank's not sieged, and Cure's just going to win this fight. This is a mistake here from ByuN. Viking will go down. Medevac barely stays alive. And that was not the fight that ByuN wanted. He had to siege his tank up or kill the one tank and back up, but his eyes got a little bit too big for his stomach. And I don't know how happy I am about this position for ByuN. I'm not happy. He's down 9 workers. His tech lead is going to be, well, wait, never mind. He can get the E-base. And if he gets the E-base, that tech lead we're talking about, that is fleeting, well, it's actually going to last a much longer time. He's going to get the gas. 6, 7, 8 SCVs will go down. And ByuN, you got to target down these E-base. It's 8 seconds until armor is done, and he's not targeting it down. That's a little bit awkward. His third base, though, is going to come under fire. And Cure, I think SCVs are going to get pulled. ByuN's flanking in from both sides. Marines, they're still better until right now. And now it's equal. Now he's going to target the E-base, but he could have gotten a lot more. And the SCVs are going to go try to go on the retake. So ByuN just gets as many SCVs as possible. He holds on to his third base and kind of just equalizes this game. Okay. I was talking about how I didn't like this game for ByuN. This game's been equalized, and Cure has lost one of his E-base. His armory is going to be done right around the same time ByuN is. So ByuN is going to build himself probably a minor upgrade advantage. Certainly not to the level that he got in that game number 3. It's now going to be 3 upgrades. And, of course, the question also is, when does ByuN actually start his upgrades? There we go. +1 attack on the way. Armor eventually saving up money for it. There we go. And this drop on the right side is going to get scouted out by the SCV. But ByuN beelines into the main base. There are Marines here, though. And ByuN has to be very careful, and he still has enough boost. He's going to be able to get out of there. And then deal with a supply depot or something. Maybe keep the medevacs. He's just going to keep the medevacs there. Okay. And Cure actually, yeah, okay, there we go. He's going to get the supply depot. Cure has not started his armor upgrade yet. He did get that second eBay, but one of the things that can happen when you're looking like this is, actually, Cure, I'm sorry, has a big drop in the main base. He's going to get a couple SCVs, but ByuN targets the medevacs down. The rest of the Marines will fall. 6 workers go down. ByuN now behind in economy just a little bit. This is by far the most even game that we've had over the course of this series. It's either been ByuN bopping or Cure finding value in the early game and bopping there. And this is one where actually ByuN was the one that chose to be aggressive. It wasn't incredible for him, but he got enough to equalize off the drop in his opponent's natural. And now we're kind of even. Big deal, of course, is because Cure's E-bays were not properly synced up. He forgot to get his armor upgrade. And ByuN will, in fact, he'll have armor. His opponent will not. His Marines are going to last just a little bit longer. And that actually can make a significant difference. That and ByuN has been, I think, just trading a little bit, more cost inefficient or less cost efficiently. But I guess the economy that he's had has allowed him to build himself just a little bit of an army supply lead. 10 supply is not insane in this matchup, but it is something. But ByuN now trying to put the claws to Cure a little bit. So he's got 2 tanks on the left side. Bunch of drops are going to try to go forward, but he's not going to go for that one right now. He's got a drop on the right side, but Cure counterattack, and this should kill the third base. ByuN does not have anything that he needs to defend this one, so ByuN loses his third orbital. He's going to lose everything in that position. Now can ByuN go and break Cure? I don't think so. It looks like he tried, and actually, I think he F2'd, and he lost a decent amount of his army. Right? No? Yeah, he lost a tank and a couple Marines. Oh, he's going to lose a bunch of these SCVs that try to find their way out. I mean, they escaped, but now they're not. 9, 10 workers will go down. If ByuN can knock this army down and maybe then do something on the other side of the map, he's got a chance, but he's not even trading all that well at first, despite the upgrade lead. But now here come the reinforcements. Medevacs, everything goes down, and now it is now or never ByuN. At least he does have his fourth. Actually, I'm sorry. He does have his fourth base up. That's going to be able to be turned into an orbital. And it's not quite as bad economically for ByuN as I thought it was. I mean, he's down 25 workers, and that's horrible. But at least he has 3 bases to mine from. So, okay, maybe not. But he does have a timing here. Up an upgrade, up army supplies. The tanks are going to move forward, but they're in range of cures. That's not really what you want. Meanwhile, on the other side, more of a run by from Cure. Cure is not content with ever allowing ByuN to move out, but tanks will be able to get sieged up. And this is a lot of Marines to trade out here, Cure, on the idea that you just don't want your opponent to move out. If he can get these Marines, he's not going to get these Marines out. He's going to get a supply depot. That is really the very last of it. So ByuN's going to trade better here. Of course, he has better upgrades. And now, again, ByuN's maintaining this like 20 army supply lead. But the big deal is Cure's bought a lot of time. Cure has bought the time that he needs to make sure that his +2 armor upgrade will complete. So ByuN, his Marines, while they were stronger, they're not going to be stronger anymore. And in fact, Cure's the one that is going to have that Marine timing over the next little bit of time. But ByuN, okay, bunch of Marines. He's going to see the planetary, but with 2 tanks here, I don't know that he's going to be able to go quick snap this. So slow push instead. Tanks move forward. ByuN, now he's going to start to try to siege away at this, but here comes Cure through the middle of the map. ByuN tries to find his way forward. Drop on the right side, loses 2 medevacs full units. That's not what you want, and ByuN taps out. Oh man, ByuN was looking so much better in TVT in this series and in the last one, right? In the Red Cross Cup, but Cure turned it on, and when it mattered, he got 2 cheap wins and then played an epic macro game. And Cure will be your champion here of EPT Cup North America number 158.